Hey, this is the Happy Weight Podcast. This is Aoife Dean. Thank you so much for listening. Today, I want to talk about some more practical tips if you're jumping straight into having a really good relationship with your food, with your body, and with yourself. And I suppose one thing I'd like to kind of talk about in this is that, just basically, chatting through a day in the life, basically, of us as the weight we want to be. So us having a cool relationship with food, a cool relationship with our body, and what we think that would look like. Because I think we have to be very clear on the goal. Because like I've discussed in other episodes, your goal is not a number on the scales, because basically, you could reach that number from norovirus or getting a bug, but that's not going to mean you stay at that weight. Really, what makes us be a healthy weight and stay at that weight is our overall attitude towards food, towards eating, towards our body, our relationship with food. So it's a whole persona. It's like a vibe, basically. And so that's why we have to have the vibe first. And then that is what will cause our eating to change and our relationship with food to change and our relationship with our body to change, which all will cause the excess weight that came from disordered eating to fade away, to wear off. So the first thing I noticed just going through my own journey with all of this was it kind of almost felt like a little bit like some kind of magic in the universe or something, because I feel like your body or the universe or whatever always knows your intention, right? So say we're talking about going for a walk. I could be going for a walk with a positive intention or a negative intention. So I could be going for a walk because I freaking hate my body. It's such a fat lump of crap and I want to change it. And that's why I'm pounding the roads, trying to cancel out calories and all the rest of it. I always noticed that when I took an action coming from that kind of intention, it never worked out in the long run. So they would always be the walks that I'd go on and then come home and boil the kettle and obliterate any calorie deficit I had created on that walk. Just the worst evening's eating I had had in ages. However, I noticed that whenever the choices I was making weren't coming from a willpower kind of place, they weren't coming from a punishment place, they were coming from true kindness towards myself and to my body, those efforts didn't seem to have a backlash. Those ones didn't seem to be cancelled out by anything. So if I was like, you know what, it's been a tough day and I deserve to sit in the sauna for a while, go for a lovely swim, maybe put on nice moisturizers, or, it's a sunny evening. I just want to hear the birds. I want to be out in nature. I want that feeling of my thighs, getting a bit of, the muscles in my thighs working, or my calves, or giving my body some exercise. So all coming from a place of kindness. When you do something like that, there isn't some backlash, because the thing is that hate is exhausting. Hating our body is really tiring. And so it just keeps being this vicious loop, catch-22, where we hate our body, so we're doing something to change it. And then we're so tired with all the thinking and demands on ourselves and pressure that then we have to chill out and comfort eat. So we just keep going around in these little circles. So it's just about, I think the important message here is make your intention clear. Make sure you are only doing something from a place of kindness, that you are not trying to manipulate your body. You're not trying to throw it under the bus. You're not calling it names or hurting it or whatever. You are doing something because you want to bring it forward, because the feeling afterwards would be better. Which brings me on to the second one. I was talking to a client today and he's lost a lot of weight in the last few weeks. He's probably lost like 1 kilo a week, actually. And, I don't advertise rapid weight loss at all, but, it just can be the case, basically, when people are following all the principles and stuff. But I'm really not a fan of the scales, and I'd rather he wouldn't be weighing himself. And it was very hard to explain to him why. He was like, it just gives me a bit of a buzz. And I was like, well, that's exactly it. Like, if you believe the fans, you're going to believe the critics. Like, if it makes you really happy when the scales is one thing, it will make you really sad when the scales is saying another thing. And if people's compliments about your weight can, elevate you so high, well, then when people stop commenting on your body, when you gain the weight back or whatever, or people don't comment, that hurts. So many clients tell me that when they come on the phone to me first day, their previous weight loss attempts, everyone just stopped commenting then when they put back on all the weight. So it's horrible. And the other thing is that basically getting a buzz out of the scales, there's really only two ways that could go. That either the scales keeps going down and we keep getting a buzz from the scales going down, which would lead us to anorexia basically, or the scale stops going down, or we get bored of it going down and it goes back up. That's really the two choices. And when we make it all about weight, like basically when people are obsessed with weight, they will do the dodgiest eating. And I am speaking from personal experience there. Like, no one cares more about their weight than a binge eater. Like, because a binge eater is like constantly warming up to, I'm going to be so good. So before I'm going to start being good, I'm going to eat all of this. So it's crazy behavior, all for the sake of weight loss, or all under the name of being slim or losing weight or whatever. But meanwhile, we're just treating our body horribly. Like, on the good days, we're treating it badly with under-eating or stupid diets. And on the bad days, we're treating it badly. So, yet again, it's not coming from a place of kindness. So when you care about the scales and you care about the weight, you're going to go up and you're going to go down. You're going to go right and left and good and bad. And you're going to just be all over the place, basically. And it's not really ever going to be stable, I would say, or easy. Versus when someone really only cares about feeling well and having an honest relationship with their body. Like, are they hearing their signals from their body and listening to them? Like, as in, maybe you got the idea that like, I would feel nice after a walk today. And it's like, did you heed that? Did you get yourself some exercise? Or we might have got the signal of like, God, I really need to start going to bed earlier. And it's like, are we doing that? And we might have got signals like, I don't really like this food, like as in the taste of something might have only been a 5 out of 10. And it's like, that's our body talking to us. That's saying like, please don't eat this, So we need to be honest about how much we're listening to our body, and are we feeling well, right? Because when feeling well and having an honest relationship with your body, that you genuinely care what it's telling you and trying to get you to do, then, binging basically seems really silly when we get into the place where we just care about feeling good. Because it's like, yeah, I might want Ben and Jerry's for my supper, but what would a binge, like, how would a binge be nice? Like, how would feeling gross going to bed be of benefit to me? Like, that doesn't make sense. But say having an amount of ice cream that my belly feels wonderful after, that makes sense. Whereas when people worry about the scales, or the scales hasn't changed in a while or whatever, they're like, feck it, it's not working, so I might as well eat loads tonight. And it's like, okay, so that's the downside basically with going by the scales. Because if you make it all about the scales, then you're gonna, at some point when the scales plateaus or whatever, kind of you've missed the point that this was all about in the beginning anyway, that you deserve to feel physically well. You deserve to be in a body that is working for you, and that you're minding and you're loving it and it's loving you, and you're treating it well, and it's letting you do all you wanted to do, and it's the size you wanted to be and everything, because you listen so carefully to it. And that's a day by day, hour by hour thing. That's got nothing to do with the scales. So I suppose my point there is that if we're living a day in the life of someone without a weight problem, I don't think we'd be weighing ourselves. I think we'd be getting on with business. So it's like, okay, I've woken up in the morning. Am I full? Am I hungry? What do I need? What would bring me forward? What would make me feel well in an hour's time? Is there anything I could do in the next hour's time to feel mentally or physically better? So it's all forward moving action, 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 not thinking, not dwelling. And I think that's another thing the scales can cause, is a lot of thinking and a lot of dwelling. And that brings me to another point, actually, is that your current weight is always the past. Like, when we're looking at our extra weight in the mirror, first of all, I like to see it as war wounds, because I don't know, for myself anyways, and anyone I've ever worked with, I've never come across someone who was having a crazy good time when they were rapidly gaining weight. Like, sure, everyone I work with anyway has, some form of disordered eating at a minimum, if not an eating disorder. So, like, it's not crack. Like, it's really not any crack to have issues with overeating or binge eating. It's no fun at all, and it's not our fault. Like, it's our responsibility, to move forward and figure it out and change it if we want to change it. But it's not our fault. Like, we can't really, we don't have any say about the influences we came in contact with growing up, especially being in a diet world, 90s diet world, or dieting moms, or whatever we were around, the TV we were watching, who knows, whatever played a part in it. We can't really change those influences, especially from here now today. So all the issues we've had with food, keeping in mind, some people just have great crack with food every day. They've never had a weight problem. They never will have a weight problem. Like, I meet so many people who do not understand my job. They do not understand how anyone could be overweight. They do not understand how anyone could have issues with food. Like, you'd be surprised how many kind of people like that are out there, actually. So, considering that's some people's experience in life, I think we can have compassion for ourselves. Like, that it has been hard and it hasn't been fun. And, like, I don't know about you, but I certainly remember a lot of really lonely moments and dark moments where I was binging a lot or felt super scared about my weight spiraling, and it was spiraling, and just felt like the nightmare kept coming true, and it's all awful. So if we've extra weight on our body now, I think we can just look at that as a war wound, and we can have compassion for the person we were when it came on. Like, we can really remind ourselves of those lonely moments where this wasn't a positive relationship with food. Like, and it certainly wasn't our body trying to screw us over or sabotage us. Our body was maybe feeling super uncomfortable and we were still eating. Or, we were just in such a pit of emotion, we wanted to feel something else, so we were overeating. And that doesn't mean our body's a bad guy. That doesn't mean we're a bad guy. And it also doesn't mean we can't move on from it. But we have to accept that there are war wounds maybe still present today from that time. And that is our weight. So we could be in a really cool phase currently with our eating. You might be more positive than you've ever been ever with eating. You might be really starting to tune into the foods you don't need and the times you don't need to eat. You might be really respecting now your taste buds and what your tummy is trying to tell you when it's telling you you're not hungry or you are hungry or you're full. You could be in an awesome place. But regardless, you're still going to be looking at some degree to weight that came there a long time ago, that's present from a very, very different time. So I think it's quite helpful that, when we are seeing the extra weight in the mirror, just remember that is your past, but it doesn't have to be your future. And then the next one, right, is that you might have a slim friend who you see eating really, really cool foods, and she is slim and she's not a dieter and she doesn't follow diets. She doesn't have any interest in any of that stuff. So you might want to know, how does she do it? So I kind of think one of the most important things that we're going to have to get ready for if we want to join that team, if we want to join the team of people who are a healthy weight who don't diet, is that the terms and conditions for only eating what you love, like really eating what you love, like those slim friends we have do. The terms and conditions of that is that there is no room, like no room ever for something that's subpar. So in order to fit the foods in that we love, something else needs to go. And I was literally just talking to a client there, and I was kind of saying, because she's new to the program, and she's, having the same struggles most people would have, overcoming all of this stuff, overcoming binge eating. And, like last night, her instincts were saying a Magnum, her taste buds in her tummy were saying a Magnum. And then her brain said, no, have dark chocolate. And so she had the dark chocolate, then she had the Magnum, then she had a crumpet, then she had brown bread. But thankfully, anyway, at some point, she clicked back into her belly and her taste buds, and they said she was done. So she did close the cupboard door, which was a huge win. And that's the thing I would focus on if I was in that situation. I would focus on the closing of the cupboard door and what that signifies, like what that could mean for my future, my ability to listen to my belly and be able to do that. But anyway, so I was like, that's a very clear story there. Like, if you eat the second or third or fourth choice, because like the dark chocolate was absolutely not her number one choice. The Magnum was. The dark chocolate probably wasn't her second or third or fourth choice either, to be honest. Like, so like when we have those 5 out of 10 foods, they're the foods that slim people are not eating. And like, we were chatting about it because, I was like, if you imagine how many 5 out of 10 or less foods you've eaten over the last 10 years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you minus all those calories from anything that was even 6 out of 10 lower, that's you at your ideal weight. Like that calorie gap, all of those foods that were 5 out of 10, all the diet foods, all the pointless meals, all the good choices, healthy choices, whatever, they were all the extra stuff clogging up her system, filling up her week that didn't belong there and didn't serve a purpose. So, like, for me, I burnt out as a strict dieter. Never really was that successful for me. Did make me into a bulimic and a binge eater. So, like, if we're lightening our load, if we're bringing down the calories somewhere, let's go for the easiest things to cut calories on. The stuff that, like, it's not even our food. It's not even our thing. Like, imagine filling your house with furniture you didn't like. Or imagine, like, filling your life with people that you don't like. It's like, when are you getting the rerun? Like, as in, this is your life. Like, you have to fill it with people that you like. And this is your house. There has to be stuff that you like in it. Like, there isn't going to be a second go at it. And it's the same with our diet. It's like, we're living now. This is our life. This is our opportunity to have a really gorgeous time with food. And we can't have a really gorgeous time with food if there's all this random crap that other people like, or other people say is good, or other people say we should have, if all of that is in our diet too. So sometimes it can be really nice to start off your day, or just keep thinking to yourself in general, if I was absolutely like the queen of the world, if like my happiness with food, if the world's survival depended on my happiness with food today, basically, how could I see it going? Like, what would I eat? How could it be? Like, what would I have later on today? What do I think would taste amazing? What would feel amazing? Because if we think about it like that, like, say you are queen of the world and you were having the most amazing, beautiful day of food, like, as you imagine that, I really doubt you're imagining gorging. I really imagine you're at any point like feeling gross and mank or whatever, because that wouldn't be like a positive memory. And I remember one of my clients put it really well. She said, I suppose if too rich tea or something to look forward to after your dinner, there's something wrong with your dinner. And I was like, exactly. Like, the job of our dinner is to be so delicious that other stuff fails in comparison. Like, yes, we need chocolate. Yes, we need, ice cream or whatever. Yeah, they are needed in our diet sometimes. But like, there's something up if there's a lot of them going in all week. because there's clearly something missing then. And if you think of, like, say, the French diet, one of the most cardiovascular protective diets in the world, they've like plenty of fat, plenty of saturated fat. They've good, delicious, gorgeous meals. They're positive about food. They seriously respect and value food. They slowly eat it and they give it time and attention. It's literally the opposite of careless or mindless eating. And because of that, it's like their delicious, creamy, saucy dinners, like, they would make some biscuits look crap in comparison, So I kind of think that's the kind of way we want to go about it. We want to be like eating this meal. That means that if we were offered something half an hour before it, it'd be like, as if I am going to eat that now and steal the stomach space that's in my belly, so that then I'd eat the dinner and it would just be a bit meh because my belly was already full on that. And then equally, if we've such a gorgeous dinner that, like, the taste was amazing and it feels so lovely in our belly, that actually everything else that we could have, well, maybe we want some, like, icing on the cake, sweet after savoury. Dessert has been happening since the beginning of time. That's so normal. But then maybe after that point, right, that your belly feels lovely, you've had wonderful taste, etc. Well, then anything else is technically a threat. Because if you eat anything else, it's going to steal that lovely, cozy feeling in your belly. And it's going to steal the nice taste in your mouth that you've achieved. So it's kind of like we want to preserve that lovely feeling, So it's about creating gorgeous feelings in our body with food and preserving them and not letting any other foods take them away from us. And we just don't deserve that, like, heaviness or overeating, especially not from foods that aren't 100% our thing. So if we're faced with a mediocre food, we just have to remind ourselves, look, I'll walk to the shop, or maybe I'll even hold out until tomorrow and just get something triply nicer than this. But I don't think I want to house this. That's not worth it to me. So I think I've covered all my little points. And I hope that was really helpful for you. And this marks the end of the 5 episodes that I was bringing out in May. So I hope you enjoyed every episode, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And thanks so much for listening. Okay, love you loads. Mwah.